Shauna Hui and members of her family bursting into tears as she learns her fate. 50 years in prison for beating her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter, Jakaza Alexander, to death.
You're not the victim, Shauna.
That's the little girl's grandmother taking the stand to read an impact statement after sentencing.
For her to cry now, I don't understand that, because she didn't cry through any of her statements or any of the police investigating.
It's an investigation that led police to Hui's Tomball home. It's here on September 7th, 2019. They say the mother of 5 used a blunt object to beat Jakaza.
I think everybody always wonders why somebody would do this.
A question that's never been answered because to this day, Hui denies doing it. The day of the murder, she took Jakaza to the emergency room and told 2 different stories. First, that Jakaza rammed herself into a toilet roll dispenser. Then she said it was a doorknob.
And my niece was barely 30 pounds. So how she could cause deep bruising in her head and make her spine come unattached to her body, I'll never know.
The medical examiner found brain bleeding at the base of Jakaza's eyes, and multiple bruises. What's more, they found evidence that some of the girl's injuries were 1 to 2 weeks old.
She was a big part of our lives. We don't have a lot of girls in our family, so it's a huge missing part of our life.
It's hard. For 4 years, it's been just miserable.
And now, it's someone else's turn.
She only cried when it was about herself, when the sentence came down or when she was convicted yesterday.
Luke Jones, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Psychopaths cannot be rehabilitated. There is nothing currently that works to treat them or rehabilitate them. Now, the psychiatrists and psychologists who work within the settings where there are psychopaths like Levi Belfield, they would argue that we just haven't found what works. So we shouldn't stop trying to find what works. But how do we teach empathy? How do we teach compassion? Because the thing with psychopaths is that they will mimic back any emotion. They will tell you whatever you want to hear. They will tick those boxes. They're chameleon-esque. So how do you know it's genuine? And for the parole board, the litmus test is, are you prepared for him to live next door to you with your children? Because if you are, then that's one thing. But if you're not, then that tells you really about the level of risk. And often when I get involved in those sorts of assessments, what they say is, well, we've put all these measures in place, these 100+ measures that we're going to force on some poor probation officer that's under-resourced right now with 1 million cases. They're going to do all these. And I say, well, if you have to do all of that, clearly they're not safe. The simple answer is to keep them in. That's what prisons were created for, to protect the public, for the most dangerous type of perpetrator to be behind those 4 walls because they're not safe to be amongst us.
A teen appeared shirtless in court before being charged with murdering his ex-girlfriend and 3 others. The reasoning behind his shirtless appearance remains unclear. 19-year-old Miguel Sandoval is charged with killing 21-year-old partners Matthew Montebello and Janvi Makwindang, Janvi's sister Christine Akaak, her fiancé Edwin Garcia, and the roommate's 3 dogs. Authorities believe Sandoval entered their home while they were asleep, shot them, and then set the house on fire. Janvi and Christine's 16-year-old sister was the sole survivor. She hid in a closet and called 911 during the attack. If convicted of charges, Sandoval faces a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Our hearts go out to the grieving families as they navigate this devastating loss.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha. And in that first video before the white lady started talking, you see they gave this nappy head hood bugger 50 years in prison, as they should. First of all, she should have got 50 just for hitting somebody else's kid. It wasn't even your kid, and you hauled off and hit the kid. Not only that, you hit the kid and beat the child to death. You deserve all 50 of them years. I hope they don't give her no parole hearing. For the dude that gunned down everybody in the house, even the damn dogs. Yeah, I'm with the fact that they gave him 100 years. He gonna be somebody's girlfriend. And to what that white lady was saying, I agree with her. Like, psychopaths need to be locked up. I don't know why we're letting them out. All these new age thinking people, these abstract minded people, for lack of better words, these idiots are getting older. And They got no concept on reality. Most of them don't know what gender they are. They're the type of people that like want to set these people back into society with the rest of us. And this is why we really got to get a grasp on reality, because people ain't working with a full deck. They'll literally let these people back into society for them to massacre more people. And yeah, I'm at the point where we need more parameters and firm assessments on who is able to make these decisions, because the last 4 years, I'll tell you what, man, just with the gender identity thing, with all these people losing their goddamn mind, not having a grasp on the English language and or biology, we don't need more craziness as it pertains to high-ranking positions. We need people of sound mind that affirmatively know they ass from their elbow, so that they don't release these psychopaths back into society. I'm with the white lady. If you got to put all them parameters up, motherfuckers shouldn't be released. That answers your question. You know what I'm saying? If you wouldn't live next to the person, that answers your question also. Not only that, what are we doing here? Somebody massacres somebody, beat somebody's child to death. They should never be released back into the public, because I don't want to hurt nobody, but I will hurt somebody. I don't want to be living next to a psychopath. And if you ain't got no firearm, you better be Bruce Muhammad Ali, because no shorts, no losses, bro. Like, I'm not taking no L's. And people that ain't rap tight, I hate to sound callous, but that's not my problem. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do, and I'm out.